Speaker, I rise today after the horrifying murder of yet another young black man at the hands of police, outraged because nothing has worked. They need more police training, we said, but so-called elite squads like Scorpion already require extra training over and above the basics. They need more diversity, we said, but every single one of the 5 officers we saw mercilessly beat an unarmed and compliant Tyre Nichols was black just like him. They need more accountability, we said, but even the advent of body cams hasn't stopped officers from pummeling our sons and sometimes our daughters to death over mere traffic infractions. Just throw in a few shouts of "stop resisting" to try and fool our eyes from believing what we're clearly seeing. We tried all those things, more training, more diversity, more accountability, and yet Tyre Nichols is dead. He was dragged out of his car and attacked by a swarm of men twice his size, exhausting themselves and then coming back to beat him again. Reforming these so-called elite squads is not enough. It's time to end them altogether. These units often attract and recruit young, aggressive officers drawn to the prospect of less supervision. They slap an intimidating name onto the team, like Scorpion or Stress or Crash, which in the 90s stood for Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums, because these units aren't about forging bonds with the communities they serve. They're about instilling fear. They descend on low-income, usually minority neighborhoods, looking to make pretextual stops in search of drugs or guns. That's not a secret. It's a tactic sanctioned by the Supreme Court itself. An officer can stop anyone for whatever reason he wants. He doesn't even need to know which law he suspects you of breaking, so long as he can develop a reason after the fact. Reasons that are often minor, trivial, and unrelated, like a busted taillight or a partially obscured traffic tag, are sufficient for these stops. This is a formal policy in police departments across the country. For example, the New York City Police Department admittedly trained its officers to, quote, "stop and question first, develop reasonable suspicion later," close quote. What results is a constant state of alert. Black and brown males worry about being pulled over for a minor traffic stop that can spiral out of control. Police officers worry because they are understandably taught that there is nothing more dangerous than to walk up to a stranger's driver's side window at night. Both sides of the confrontation are on edge. And for what? So that an officer can peek inside the car for contraband and ask for so-called consent to search the car, despite many drivers feeling like they can't say no. These pretextual stops aren't bearing much fruit. A study found that stop and frisk searches in New York City produce drugs or guns in less than 2% of the cases. What it does breed is contempt between the police and the people they're sworn to protect. African Americans are 5 times more likely to have their vehicles searched, and a black man has to hit the age of 50 before his chance of being pulled over lowers to that of a young white man. As the father of 5 black sons, I'm all too familiar with the talk parents are duty-bound to give their black and brown children about how to de-escalate interactions with the police. As a former prosecutor, I saw firsthand how communities can be ravaged by fear in the face of violent crime and threats to public safety, but those communities should not also be afraid of the men and women in uniform whose job it is to defend them. Police can't investigate crime if victims and witnesses don't trust them enough to come forward. These squads running roughshods on our streets are contributing to a breakdown in that trust. It isn't leading to better results, but it is contributing to the unjustified killing of our kids. The Memphis police chief, Sarah Davis, did the right thing by shutting down the Scorpion unit, but we must not wait until the next murder of an innocent man gets national attention before we shut down these roving elite squads across the country. Professor Christy Lopez, the co-chair of the DC Police Reform Commission, made the case brilliantly in a recent Washington Post editorial entitled, "Cities Should Get Rid of These Toxic Crime Units," which I will now submit to the record. Finally, I think the time has come to end pretextual stops completely. Because they are just racial profiling hiding behind legalese and little more than a subtle way to circumvent the constitutional rights of low-income black and brown males. Pretext stops allow police to stop cars, even though they lack even reasonable suspicion to think an actual crime is, has been, or is about to be committed. They allow police to pressure drivers into so-called consensual searches so that they can avoid the need to obtain a warrant to search the car. And as we've seen yet again, these pretextual stops frequently escalate into young men being killed or seriously injured, not because they broke the law, but because they've been targeted for aggressive police tactics that aren't directed at other communities. So I urge President Biden to use his executive authority to put an end to this practice at the federal level. And I urge state and local officials, mayors, police chiefs, county executives to put an end to this practice all over the country.